Hey YouTube! My pal gave me another pedal when I was, well, I've got this thing set up just now, just tested the last one, it seemed to sound alright. So, using the Kraken being the best sitting down guitar, the only thing annoying about it is the fact that the camera is just that little bit. So apart from that, this guitar is absolutely amazing for playing sitting down, but don't have a camera sitting right where you want the headstock. Yeah, so I put temu again, and it's I assume he was trying. He found the same as me. Found the thing he wanted, and then you had to try and make it up to a tenner to get free postage. So he bought this. I think he said it was a tenner. He might have said 11 quid. I was looking at some of these. This is the US Dream. It's not that one. No, I've got a joyoUS Dream pedal. I don't know. I can't find it. That'll maybe need to be another one when I work out whether this one is actually worthwhile buying this if you want a £10 distortion pedal, or 12 quid or whatever it was. I do quite like the joyoUS Dream one, which is basically the same colour exactly. I was thinking it was the Scottish sound one, but it's not. So I won't be doing a comparison with that. I'll just be seeing what this sounds like as an out of focus pedal. So clean channel, orange TH30, Telecaster split, and then with a bridge. Can we get like not really, it's kind of distortion only. It doesn't have I was wondering if if you kind of like, if you do it with a tube screamer or something like that, you can kind of turn the distortion down and the level up and then use it like almost like a clean boost. I don't think this is happening with this one. A wee bit, I suppose. As in a ridiculous pickup. No. I was told the other one I had of these, the joyoUS Dream, was a copy of a Sir Riot pedal. And if you look up a Sir Riot, they're like 80 quid. So, but it might even be more than that. 10 times the price of this wee thing. It's in a metal box. It's smaller. Takes a normal Boss type input. It's not overly noisy, considering that's it. That bottle top might be the thing. I noticed this with the last one. I put that on there. There you go. something cheesy going on in there, definitely. It does. I mean, it's a tenner. Do you know what I mean? So if you're sitting there with a wee amp that doesn't have gain on it, or if you get like a loop, buy yourself that and a wee loop pedal, it'll get you a distorted sound. It is kind of a wee bit making that £900 Valve 30 watt amp sound a bit like a small practice amp though. I need to go and find the other one and see if it's the same, because it didn't make it in my shootout. I did have a shootout before when I was rearranging my board. I was going to try it. I wanted to have my rat pedal on, my favourite one. I was going to have some fuzzes, but I wanted a sort of lower gain, less distortion-y pedal, which actually that joyo one there, the joyo British sound one, kind of won. Sorry, Scottish sound, especially modded by me by putting a wee bit of tape on it. That was, I like that one. It beat the joyoUS Dream. This is not a joyoUS Dream, this is just another US Dream. I wonder if it was maybe the same. So really the question is it exactly the same pedal but the different thing? I mean, because obviously there is a point of, it's the same circuit. So I mean, I get it. If you're making a tube screamer has 20 components, something like that, 30 components, and if you can use the same circuit, but I suppose a wee bit like building a guitar, if you don't solder it together quite as well, or doesn't make perfect contact, or use lower quality parts where maybe the tolerances are a bit off, and all these things you might not necessarily, although it's the same circuit and every component is kind of the same, it might not be exactly the same, which I think sometimes works in their favour. That's why my Sovtech amp, I was going to turn the mic around so you could see it, it's a bit like that. It's the same as the original Marshall amps. It was a need to make a big guitar amp, right? Fender Bassman, that's the one everyone likes. Let's try and make that. Oh, we don't have that bit, so we'll use these valves, and we don't have these capacitors, so we'll use these ones, and we don't have a 2 kilowatt resistor, a 2K resistor, we've got like a 1.8K, that'll be fine, and everyone's just became averaged out, and you ended up with a different amp. And then they gave that specs to the Russians to do Sovtech, and they did exactly the same. They just copied the exact circuit using components, but the components were all maybe not, well, the Russian ones are all Soviet components, so it's like they've all got backwards Ks on them, and it looks like an atomic bomb inside it. All hand wired, but that's good. So I'll pause this for 2 seconds and make sure, I'll go double check, make sure I can't find the other pedal to see if it's exactly the same. Haha, found it. It was actually in below my other pedals. I knew I'd seen it somewhere recently. So there's the joyoUS Dream. I wonder if it's different from this one. It could be exactly the same circuit. Or just whether... Go for 12 o'clock on all dials, see what it sounds like. I hope that's not overdriving. As quickly as I can. So I mean, if they're both exactly the same, then this takes up nearly twice as much room on the pedal board. All the knobs at 12. It's not the same pedal, I don't think. Maybe this, I don't know how. Again, it might just be a different. A different circuit, but are just different components. But this it just sounds much better, doesn't it? That seemed to be like, instead of taking the sound and trying to get a decent sound out, it seemed to be an alright sound that you could kind of adjust. I mean, obviously, I'm aware that the tolerances and pots do count for these things. So just because I've got that one kind of set there, and there, doesn't mean that the values on these pots are identical to the ones that are the other one, because they're both cheapy pots. There's definitely something different. It definitely sounds cheaper. There's something missing in the... See, if I'd been a bit clever, I would have put two plugs and then just had the two of them running into each other, and then I would have been able to switch between them immediately. Do I have, actually... Because this might be just in my head. Maybe I'm just a brand snob, and I see the joyo. Harley Bent make this pedal as well. See, that does seem to be doing that kind of thing where you're getting like a less... I need to pause it again. That's only 12 minutes in, it's not too bad. I'm going to get it so the two of them are just stuck into each other. I hit pause too many times there. I did it on my dad on the computer. It's not opening, and then it just wait 10 seconds and 100 things open. Yeah, so I didn't. It turns out actually this one's got a battery in it. When I unplugged it, when I went and found the daisy chain thing, set it up, and then turned it on, and it was already on. So at least they're both on the same power now, and we can now tell. Try and get a sort of low drivey type thing going on. That's in Telecaster position. So we decided that one didn't really do that. I now with my super duper audio thing was the same anyway, but I actually quite like being able to sit down and just fidget with them around and try to operate it with my feet while trying to look down and use that other camera. Use that camera to look at me. But let's just say that's a tenner. I think it's maybe a wee bit more than that. Let's just say that's 30 quid. I think it might only be about 20 quid. That's better. That's 3 times better than that one. So, which I was expecting to be exactly the same. Straight up, I was expecting it to be the same. I have been looking at these pedals because they're so damn cheap. It was down at, was it 8 quid or something? It was at I think it was called Crunch. But I don't know how, like, I'm not even sure I would say that these are the same pedal. Do they have a similar sort of, they kind of do, don't they? There is a sort of, getting a wee bit of noise now, but that's because there's two of them coming off the same power supply. It's that thing about just like going from a cheap guitar to a more expensive guitar. I suppose the same thing happens with the amp. There's just an awful lot more guitar left when this is on. It's that the guitar still sounds like the guitar more. An awful lot of that more still, no matter how distorted it is. That seems to be just kind of going. It's also noisier, but it's in a daisy chain thing, so I can't give it that. But anything wrong with it. Also, this is the added advantage of being a joyous, joyoUS stream. So it's a joyous stream. That's just a US stream. So good if you're in America, the US stream, all about the US stream and all that. But a joyous stream, everyone can have a joyous stream. I do like this pedal though. Even the tone control seems to do. But it's that thing about I like an amp and a pedal and a guitar to basically you just turn it on and it sounds good. And then there's all variations of different sounds of good. This is a little bit of it's a wee bit like trying to find a good distortion sound in the Roland Cube. It's like there's so many things you can adjust. I just want to find a distortion sound I really like. This one, it's kind of like I already like that one. That's fine. Let's see if we can make it any better. Not, let's see if we can get this to the stage where I like it. It's just not as good. It's because it's second to the power line. It does. It makes it sound like sounds like one of your wee 10-watt Marshalls, which is fine. If you've got a 10-watt Marshall, it's probably great. But I wouldn't be using that through a big expensive tube amp and a handmade super custom guitar. Interesting to see. I'd maybe do another video the same to have one. If I had like a Squire Strat kicking about to see if it's as noticeable. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be as noticeable. See if I plugged it into the Roland Cube instead of the orange. I'm sure it would sound the two pedals would sound kind of the same. It doesn't really do it doesn't sizzle nicely in the sort of lower volume distortion range. It's more of a like a rat pedal type thing. It's a full on lead distortion, whoa, turbo. But it's not that kind of, which actually the way this one here worked, or I like this one so much, is because it kind of did that. It was just kind of turning up a wee bit, and it worked really well at the lower end again. This is both of these, which maybe means they are the same circuit, don't seem to do that. Just a wee bit distortion. The just a wee bit still, you know. Like that's kind of. I would like to. That's a great sound, but I would like to have one that's a little bit less than that. And if you turn it down, you're like kind of not letting enough of the sound through. I really do think that. I really do think if this was one of these. If I did this exact same video, right, but didn't show you what I was doing, and I said, right, I'm playing through two amps, I'm playing through a tube amp and a solid state amp, I think that you would all guess, and I was lying, and I was playing them both through that. I would think you would say that this was a tube amp and that was a solid state, and if you said one of them's a real amp, one of them's a modelling amp, I bet you would say this is the real amp and this is the modelling amp. I bet you if I said one of these things is digital and one of them's analog, you would say this one was analog and that one was digital. Actually, while I'm here, I wonder, did the joyo British sound, was it unfairly dismissed? I don't think I really dismissed it. I just wanted to try another pedal, so I tried the... Basically, I changed when I got that the new rack pedal, the £1.82 one, which I'll probably do in a video similar to this as well. No, I doubt, I'll try and do it all at 12 and see what we end up with. So it's still been adjusted. See there, you get like struggling with having Velcro on the bottom, but staying. You can put that on. Right. Seems very, very high and midi, but this guitar is that. Use a tone control on the guitar. This is a Bumblebee super cap, oil and paper, most expensive cap you can get as well. So you can hear the tone. I'm not sure I like this pedal either. Right, I will stop doing this video in a second, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and turn on the L Campbell, which is what I've been using as my low gain pedal. That's got a very distinctive taste to it. No, I do quite like it. I kind of like the US Dream as well, to be honest. One more chance at the wee shitty pedal, see if it is actually an interesting sound to make. If it is actually the wee shitty one, which it kind of feel I'm giving it a hard time. It was damn cheap. But I mean, it's one of those things, if you're going to buy it off Temu, maybe some things, you know, they are damn cheap. I mean, I think even if you're not hunting. Lose too much of my tone, my super tone woods and stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I've not really noticed that much difference in other pedals. I'm gonna have to shoot the Delamo Rat pedal, even though I'm not really sure. I think it's the same sort of thing. It's maybe just the same circuit and trying to make it cheaper by using different components in some way, but to try to make it do the same thing. So that there is a sort of common EQ flavour. I used that in the last video as well. For fuck's sake, what a wank. Between these two, and they're the same colour. But it's like, here's a Strat and here's a Strat, and it's like one of them's a Squire one and one of them's an American one. It's like they're both do the same thing. It's just that there's more of the American one. On a guitar like this against a factory built guitar, it's like there's just more of it. It's kind of like you've just taken a pillow off it, which is kind of like what's going on here. It's just like that's kind of that it's there. It's in that. That's not taking away whatever it is the amp's got, but it's. I could just talk pish forever. Anyway, hope you're enjoying these pedal videos. I'll probably just put them out as bonuses because nobody likes pedal videos because I don't like pedals. Rock on!